Immigration reform is front and center this week as the president takes the issue directly to the border itself. Mr. Obama pressuring Congress to pass some new laws, saying his team is taking huge steps beefing up security along the border. Is that true? And is this really enough? Is enough being done? Does more action need to be taken? Here now to talk about it, Bob Dane, Communications Director of the Federation for American Immigration Reform, and immigration attorney Francisco Hernandez. Gentlemen, good to see you both. Bob, let me start with you. The president goes down to the border and he calls for a civil and constructive conversation. Those are his words about immigration reform. Then in the same breath, he mocks his critics, saying they want a moat with alligators, ridiculing those who dare disagree with you and impugning your motives. Is that really a civil and constructive way to approach things? Maybe he needs to take his own advice.
Well, it's how candidate Obama is addressing this. Remember, put this in perspective. 3 weeks ago, President Obama announced his re-election campaign. So for the past 3 weeks, he's had White House meetings with his amnesty special interests, stoking up his voting base. Then this past week, we had this mission accomplished speech in which the president had the audacity to tell the American people that the borders were secure. He needs us to believe that so that we let him have his amnesty. He also had the audacity to make us think that somehow giving amnesty to 13 million illegal aliens, it somehow improves the middle class prosperity. You know, if there were not human beings dying every day in border violence, these outrageous claims would be comical. They're not. This is the problem with immigration.
Francisco,
it's used only when it's politically convenient.
Francisco, you're in Texas, so we're glad to have you here.
Yes.
But look,
thank you.
In Texas, more than 50% of the 1,200-mile border is still not under operational control. That's according to Congress, and I double-checked. It's backed up by the Nonpartisan Government Accountability Office, the GAO. So before we reform immigration policy, don't we need to gain control of the border?
Well, the problem is you're talking about two completely different subjects on this very show a couple of years ago. Well, we talked about that wall would never be built, one, because of funding, and second, whatever they built would not be effective. That what we're talking about here is not even amnesty. The question we have here is what are we going to do with the 11 or 12 or 13 million people that are already here? If you'll remember, it was Arizona who wanted and demanded that the federal government act. Where are all these folks that demanded the federal government to act? It doesn't matter whether you use girls' exaggeration for effect about moats and alligators. The question is, where is the counter proposal if they don't like whatever President Obama's proposing? Let's start the dialogue.
Bob, in fairness to President Obama, under his watch, and I double-checked this today too, the prosecution of employers who hire illegals has quadrupled. As a result, illegal entry is down, deportation is up. In fact, he has increased the forced removal of immigrant criminals by a whopping 70%. Now, you'd admit, perhaps grudgingly, that the president has made great strides in going after illegals.
An outright fabrication and one of the best PR spins this administration has ever had. Deportations overall are actually down. The only thing...
No. 800,000 in his first 2 years in office. That is a record. He is deporting, DHS, 1,000 a day. Come on, Bob. I double-checked those. The president's not making it up.
The only thing that's up are criminal deportations to the exclusion of all others. The fact of the matter is,
those are the ones you want.
But let Bob finish,
since this administration took office, they have systematically dismantled interior enforcement. And the fact of the matter is that if you're just a garden variety illegal alien who has not otherwise committed a violent felony, your chances of being detained and deported are virtually nil.
Yeah, Francisco, I'm not sure the president was terribly truthful in his speech down in Texas at the border. He claimed, and this is a quote, the border fence is now basically complete. That's not even close. In fact, columnist Charles Krauthammer looked into that, and Krauthammer wrote the following. We'll put it up on the screen. Complete? There are now 350 miles of pedestrian fencing. The border is 1,954 miles long. That's 18%. And only 1/10 of that 18% is the double and triple fencing that has proved so remarkably effective. Another 299 miles, 15%, are vehicle barriers. Pedestrians can walk right through. So, look, not only was the president not telling the truth, but the point is, Francisco, that if Americans could actually be assured that the border is truly secure, don't you think they'd be more willing to legalize the illegals who are already here?
Well, the problem is that it's not a physical problem. The wall will never be built, and as soon as it's built, it's going to start falling down. It is a jobs issue. People don't come here because they want to jump a fence. They come here because they want to work. And as long as they're here working, there's going to be people trying to get here. We're still not addressing the people that are already here. If we do that and then do the employer enforcement, which is what you said President Obama has actually increased dramatically in his last 2 years, that's how you stop that, not with a wall that divides neighbors.
All right, Bob, Dane, Francisco Hernandez. Afraid, gentlemen, we're out of time, but thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you.